going on, guys? It's Stubbs here. Welcome back to another video, and this is another episode of my GT6 Pro Drifting series. And in this episode I have the 1970s Dodge Challenger RT, which somebody has suggested I should do a drift build on in the last episode. But anyway, before we go on, like I said previously and I'll say it again, if you guys want to see any of the cars that you basically just want to see tuned into drift cars, leave a comment down below telling me which one you guys want to see, and hopefully I'll get back to it and I'll make a video on it. But anyway, let's get on with this video. So the Dodge Challenger, I didn't want to do too much to it to basically change the look of it. I really like the way it looks, just, you know, sort of like the standard shape. Apparently you can put this this little wing on the back, which I did, and it looks kind of good. And also the race exhausts look really good as well. And then again, the wheels, they just put some sort of wheels that that sort of match the era of the car. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've done to the exterior. Also, the paint job on it right now is called Daytona Grau Pearl Effect. So there you guys go if you want to know the name of that. Anyway, let's get on to the setup. So I get to show you guys pretty much what everything is like on this car. So it has 686 brake horsepower and it weighs 1,381 kilos. Suspension setup's right there. I've done a lot of little changes to the suspension. Transmission, since I'm going to be drifting on Tsukuba, changing the top speed to about 230 kilometers an hour pretty much just made the transmission just dead on, just perfect for the track. Of course, when you're drifting on different tracks, you're going to be able to sort of have to change the transmission. So please buy the fully customizable transmission, because it definitely helps out a lot, especially for these older muscle cars, because most of these usually only come with 4 gears. So when you change that, you usually get like an extra gear, and of course you also can change pretty much every single gear ratio itself. But anyway, on the track, this was kind of it's kind of alright to drive. I have a few complaints with it, and I have a few things that I want to tell you guys about it that you need to sort of watch out. It sort of likes to bite back a lot. It's very, like, it really likes to go straight basically, but when you're sort of drifting and when you're sliding like this, depending on what sort of setup you put on it, it really likes to bite back. So you'll probably be able to see in some of the corners here where I end up like using counter steer, but it, like, even though I only use like a little bit of counter steer, it like shoots off and goes, you know, tries to go completely straight again. And also on the straight here, I didn't want to just go completely straight, because I basically just wanted to sort of practice my transitions, and this is basically just for my sort of you know, just for me. That's why I ended up doing these, like, just, you know, going for like fishtailing and going left and right over on the straight, just so I can basically practice a little bit of my transitions. But the car was fun to drive. It was very easy to drift around. I didn't have like a huge problem with it to be able to slide it. It did it very well from the beginning. And right, so one of my biggest downfalls with this thing was the transmission. It took a really long time to actually get this thing to ride properly, because, like I said, if you don't tune it fully, you know, if you don't give it the fully customizable transmission, it's only gonna have 4 gears. So that's kind of obvious, you know. You put the fully customizable transmission, and then I sort of messed around with the gear ratios a bunch. And usually when I get one of these cars, I usually put the max speed to around 250 to 260 kilometers an hour. Depending on what track I'm on, and then I mess around with each one of the gear ratios. But in this one, I didn't want to mess around with each one of the gear ratios, because it was just a little bit weird the way it was set up. And then once I brought it down a little bit more to about 230 kilometers an hour, as I had here, I took it out on the track and I was like, oh my god, this is perfect for this track, right? So I didn't mess with any of the gear ratios specifically, but I just messed around with pretty much the whole, you know, set of them, and I just basically made them a little bit shorter. But yeah, if this is on a bigger track, give it some more horsepower for sure. Like, definitely do that. Bring even the differential, give it so it gets a little bit more power into the back wheels when you're turning. So basically with this thing, it has not got a lot of low-end torque, right? It like, once it like builds up the revs and it goes, you definitely have like a really good amount of power in it. But when you're sort of like setting off or whatever, it's really slow, okay? And it doesn't matter how much power you have in it, and but in the end I still got it sliding. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and like I said before, leave suggestions down in the comments below on what other cars would you guys like to see me do a drift build on in Gran Turismo 6. And for now, I'll leave you guys, and I'm gonna go off. Goodbye.